Hi Doug, I'm just going to go through my digital recording of my essay, and my husband Scott will interview me, and we will proceed from here.
So Val, what have you learned during your PIDP journey?
I would say the most important thing I've learned is that time is valuable and I should not squander it, whether it's my own time or the time of my clients and students in my classes and programs.
Well, what events and accomplishments did you realize?
Well, there have been many events and accomplishments. I'm going to share one that is a future event, and it is each year at Seabird we have the annual nutrition run, and along with that is a nutrition fair. And I felt that the nutrition fair was pretty much a big waste of time. We'd have a lot of vendors, presenters come and sit at tables, and nobody really gained or gleaned much from the event. So I canceled it, which was a bold move because this would be our 11th annual, and I've replaced it with a food fair featuring local producers and growers that will bring their food, we can sample, and I've invited all of the participants from the former food fair or nutrition fair to come at our monthly learning sessions and present there in a much more intimate setting, which I think will be much more beneficial use of time.
Terrific. Were there any lessons that particularly caught your imagination?
I really liked the lesson where we discussed ethical dilemmas. It was interesting the way that it was presented. We came prepared with our ethical dilemmas and our reasoning for them and our rationales, and then we discussed it as a group and were evaluated according to how we participated in those discussions. I also liked learning about doing self-evaluations in class, and I found that really beneficial for the style of teaching that I do.
Great. Were there any classroom experiences that were particularly memorable?
Creating the poster, I would say, was one of the most memorable classroom experiences. It was group work. The dynamics of the group were quite interesting and very just a good learning experience for me that I can take back to my programs.
Thanks. All right, so what would you say the high points were during the program?
The high points during the program, that's a good question. I really liked the beginning and the end, I would say.
Okay.
Maybe the beginning because I was fresh, and the end because it was almost done, but the mini classes were really important for me to see the way I taught in the group in that kind of more pressure situation among peers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the end, doing the media courses, learning how to be motivated to be on Twitter and LinkedIn and things that I never would do. And then, of course, setting up my Facebook page for Seabird Island Nutrition has been just a really big accomplishment for me, and it's very meaningful in my work.
Great. So positive experience. Did you experience any challenges or frustrations along the way?
Just overall in the course, feeling that the pressures of everyday life, family, work, and then heavy course load is a big one, but Doug's constant reminder that life happens and should happen and can get in the way, and that's okay, was very helpful. But that would be the biggest limitation. I enjoyed the course, but life happens.
You mentioned Doug. Were there any other individuals or people that influenced you while you took the course?
Well, both Doug and David Tickner were both great instructors, so I definitely benefited from their knowledge and teaching experience. But working with my peers was definitely a big one. I don't think there was anyone who stands out. They're all just a great bunch, and I would have been happy to do the course in the beginning. In fact, I was kind of annoyed that we weren't doing it as an online course, because I would have liked to do it on my own time more, but I would have been robbed of the experience of working with my peers and getting to know them, my coworkers, better. But just seeing their learning experience also was very beneficial for me.
Sure, that makes sense. What would you say was the turning point for you in the program? Did you have a kind of aha moment?
Aha moment would be that I came across a phrase, not so much in the program, but in working with my clients, that many of them have what is termed as learned helplessness. And so for me to come in and teach them the technical aspects of diabetes and heart health and some other things like that was not very useful unless I took the time to get to know the client and to help them to realize that each individual, including themselves, has the potential for unlimited growth and development.
So how does that help them to learn about nutritional things?
Well, as they learn their own individual worth, they are more inclined to change their behavior. But if they don't really, if they just have this learned helplessness that they can't change and can't be masters of their own destiny, then
They won't even try.
They won't even try.
Okay.
And adult learners really have a deep need to be self-directed learners. So once you can start them on that, stimulate that, then they will really run with it.
So, in what ways did this program change some of your thinking about being an adult educator?
I guess back to that same point is just that, it seems fairly helpless. People have these deep-seated habits and lifestyles, and I've come in and asked this person is now 60 years old and they need to do a lifestyle change because they've just been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And so unless I can help them realize that they can change, I'm up against a brick wall, yeah.
Sure. So, were there any other key insights that you gained as a result of the program or teaching approaches that influenced you as a professional?
Just back to the time management and management, setting up the lesson plan and the need for an adult learner to be self-directed is just when I establish my lesson plan, I need to be very careful to put it into small chunks and using the student engagement techniques, spacing those out throughout the lesson, and so I keep the student engaged.
And don't overwhelm them.
And not have me talking very much. Have them responsible for their learning and having activities that help them to do that.
So Val, how would you say that this educational experience will guide you and benefit you in your future professional practice?
Well, as I prepared for the capstone project and did my lesson plan, it was, I was doing it for the capstone project, but as I did the lesson plan, it was very useful to have all the things I've learned echoing in my mind and, be focused. And I kept on throwing out ideas to stay focused. And once I was done, I had a really good lesson plan that I used in about 5 different classroom settings throughout the month that I used it. And it made for a great month of, once the lesson plan was done, I really didn't have to do any other planning. As I went to the classes, just had my bag of supplies and off I went. It was really useful, and so as I move forward, I will continue to use that same approach, just plan a master lesson, and I can keep it in my files for later, and I can use it well each month with each theme that I have planned.
So you've experienced some substantial growth over the last few months. How do you plan to continue that growth?
The phrase "to be a student of the profession" is one that comes to mind, and as I've learned to use available tools like LinkedIn and Twitter and my Facebook page that I've set up, has been really useful, and I can engage in discussions on those. And as I've learned from, I have some students who work with me, and they teach me a lot on the social media, and it's been very useful. And also working with the peers that I've learned to rely on through the course will be invaluable for me as I move forward. Sue Faulkner and I are teaming up to go to the diabetic conference. There'll be a few hundred clients there, and she'll be doing blood work, and I'll be the on-site nutritionist to provide nutrition counseling. So that will be a growth experience for me, I'm sure. And as I put myself out there for more opportunities like that would have been probably outside my comfort zone in the past, I will continue to learn and grow. And I look forward to new challenges. My next hurdle is to become a certified diabetic educator, and that I won't even begin until I have this one sealed off. So anyway, it's been a pleasure, Doug, and I really have benefited from the course, and has caused me to be uncomfortable at times, but through that I have definitely grown. So thank you.